Hello and welcome. My name is Michael, and today I will be sharing with you many crucial business lessons they don't teach you in business schools. In each video I post on this series, I will cover a section. So let's start. Section 1. Relationships are more important than product knowledge. Lesson number 1. Steve Jobs' winning strategy: how to get anything you want. Many of us use iPhones and iPads and other Apple products because of one simple business and life strategy that Steve Jobs practiced from a very young age. Ask and you shall receive.
Now, I've actually always found something to be very true, which is most people don't get those experiences because they never ask. I've never found anybody that didn't want to help me if I asked them for help. I always call them up. I called up, this will date me, but I called up Bill Hewlett when I was 12 years old, and he lived in Palo Alto. His number was still in the phone book. And he answered the phone himself. He said, yes? He said, hi, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm 12 years old. I'm a student in high school, and I want to build a frequency counter. And I was wondering if you had any spare parts I could have. And he laughed, and he gave me the spare parts to build this frequency counter, and he gave me a job that summer in Hewlett-Packard, working on the assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequency counters. He got me a job in the place that built them. And I was in heaven. And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to be as responsive, to pay that debt of gratitude back. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act. And you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn, with people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
Steve Jobs never had issues reaching out and asking for help from strangers. You will be amazed how many people want to help you if you just ask. Fortunately, not many people do this. When Steve Jobs was only 12 years old, he called Bill Hewlett from Hewlett-Packard. The young Steve Jobs asked Bill Hewlett if he could give Steve spare parts for a device that he was creating. Hewlett laughed and not only gave him the spare parts, but gave Steve Jobs a job. Many of us are too shy, or we think that it is outside of our comfort zone to ask for help, especially from strangers. Culturally, it feels uncomfortable for many people to ask for help or ask strangers for something. You need to do this often. So in this day and age of social media, how do we successfully ask for help? It is much easier than you think. If you are not already a LinkedIn subscriber, please sign up for the premium version. Do an advanced search and find people with something in common with you. If you are from Bombay but live in the United States and live in New York, enter Bombay in LinkedIn and then the zip code that you live in. Then send an in-mail message in LinkedIn with a very short message as follows. John, hope all is well. I am also from Bombay and I also live in New York. Please let me know if you have time for a coffee in the next few weeks. Thanks a lot, Chris. Yes, it is that easy. People want to help, especially the farther away you get from the place you grew up in. You can also reach people by leveraging your school as follows. Matt, hope all is well. I also went to McGill University and I also live in New York. Please let me know if you have time for a coffee in the next few weeks. Thanks a lot, Chris. Trust me, this works. My success rate on getting meetings with strangers using LinkedIn has always been very high. Why? Because I ask often and most people don't. This works exceptionally well. Please try it. It works because very few people do it. Too many people today use email, which is why it is not an effective tool to set up meetings. In-mails work. Please try it. I promise you that you will be amazed at the outcome. People want to help you. Simply ask and you shall receive. Lesson number 2. How to get a job and why sending in a resume can be a waste of time. There is a better way. There is a better way. Be a contrarian and think different when it comes to getting a job. Everybody sends their resume to companies. Don't do this as the odds of getting an interview are extraordinarily low. How do I get a job then? Well, it all comes down to the relationships that you already have or will have soon. What does that mean? It's simple as all you need to do is set up informational meetings with as many people as you can at the companies you want to work at. You are probably asking yourself this question. That doesn't make any sense. Why would someone want to meet with me anyway, and how do I get these meetings? It is simple. Use LinkedIn. We are covering using LinkedIn several times in this book as it is crucial that you leverage this social media gold mine because most people don't. In the business school classes that I teach, I start off every first lecture with a simple question as follows. If I told you that if you did at least 20 informational meetings with strangers at companies that you wanted to work at, then you will get the job of your dreams. If this is the case, how many of you would set up these informational meetings? Every single student lifts their hand in agreement. Then at the end of the 15-session course that I teach, I ask how many did 20 plus informational meetings. Only 1 or 2 hands go up. Those that did the 20 plus informational meetings all get jobs without exception. So are you telling me, Chris, that if I set up 20 or more informational meetings that I will get a job? That's right. Try it and you'll amaze yourself. Okay, so once I get these meetings, what should I do or say? Just be yourself. If the person you are meeting with is from your hometown, talk about your hometown. If this person went to the same school as you did, simply talk about the school. Relationships are more important than product knowledge, so the first half of the meeting should be an informal discussion about what you have in common with this person, he, the school you went to, where you are from, etc. Then, during the second half of the meeting, you should transition to a discussion of your career goals. Towards the end of the meeting, you need to ask if the company is hiring. If not, ask when they will be and follow up at that point. This strategy works, but you need to meet with many people in order to see the results. Lesson number 3. Business is about people and not what you know. It's an old cliche that it's not what you know, but who you know. If you need to get anything done in your company, then you need to develop extraordinary relationships with coworkers in your department and other departments. In the first few months of starting a new job, it's imperative that you grab a coffee or lunch or breakfast with as many people as you can, regardless of what level they are at or what departments they work in. By networking internally at your company, you will understand the corporate culture and how to get things done. People want to help you if they like you and feel comfortable speaking with you. These meetings early on are crucial as they are harder to set up once you aren't the new kid in town anymore. Lesson number 4. Treat people like celebrities and celebrities like people. I recently had dinner with one of President Bush's White House employees in the early 1990s. As I always do when I meet someone successful or that works with someone successful, I ask what makes that person successful. For President Bush, as it is with all successful politicians, it comes down to having superb relationships. President Bush treats people like celebrities and celebrities like people. Learn as much as you can about people you meet by asking them questions. Let them talk about themselves and smile. Remember their names too. People love talking about themselves, and they really appreciate it when you use their name often in conversations. Treat all people you meet in business like good lifelong friends. Don't jump right into business topics in a conversation. Always start with personal questions like how was your weekend, or do your children like their new school, or something that people love talking about, like their favorite sports teams, etc. Treat everyone like they are your friends, and treat people like celebrities and celebrities like people. Lesson number 5. Meet people. Have fun and learn. Your goal when you start a new job should be to meet people, have fun, and learn. Business is about people, so develop strong relationships with as many people as you can. If you have a superb network, then you can achieve any goal you want in life as these people are on your team. Have fun at work too. Be productive, but also laugh a lot with friends there. This is crucial as you will likely be spending more time in your life with people at work than you will with your family. Life is too short not to have fun and enjoy the company of those you work with. Always be learning. Learn from those you work for. Learn from those you work with. Learn from those you don't work with but are in different divisions in your company. I remember when I was in my 20s and I moved from Canada to New York City to work at Goldman Sachs. I was so nervous. What if they find out that I know nothing compared to my peers? What made the whole experience incredible for me was that I gave myself 3 rudimentary goals when I started working there, which was to meet people, have fun, and learn. I set up one meeting each day at Goldman with someone I didn't know. Everyone will take a meeting with you at your company. I met with many partners, associates, vice presidents, managing directors, assistants, etc. The most productive meetings were with the assistants as they work with the partners and understand exactly how the firm works. Get to know them well. Lesson number 6, the importance of sincere gratitude. Thank people often. After an informational interview, send a handwritten thank you note. Why? Because almost nobody does this anymore, and it is the quintessential personal / straight from the heart act of kindness. In all of your emails, try to use the word please and thank you. This works a heck of a lot better than the cold regards you see at the bottom of many emails. Emails are often misinterpreted as the tone is tough to interpret. As a result, many emails come across as too aggressive even if the intent was a passive message. The solution is to add an element of gratitude in each email. Here is an example of an email that can be misinterpreted. John, let's meet at 4 p.m. today. Regards, Chris. This version is much better given the element of gratitude. John, hope all is well. Let's meet at 4 p.m. today. Please let me know if this works for you. Thanks. Chris. Lesson number 7, your alma maters. People don't leverage schools that they have attended enough. The friends you make in school are often more beneficial to you and your career than what you actually learned in school. Make sure to leverage your school alumni network often. You will be amazed how many doors are opened using this best practice. All universities have local alumni-sponsored events. If you are not aware of them, call your alumni office and ask them for details on your local alumni club. If one doesn't exist, then here is your golden networking opportunity to start one. Hewlett-Packard was successful because the founders went to school with Disney executives, who signed the first significant contract with Hewlett-Packard. There are countless examples of companies that were successful because the founder leveraged her or his alumni network. Please also use LinkedIn often to leverage your golden alumni network, especially if you live more than a few hundred miles from the school you attended. It's easy to get meetings with alumni using LinkedIn InMails. Simply do an advanced search in LinkedIn and type in the name of the school you attended and the zip or postal code that you live in or are visiting. Then use this simple format to get meetings. John, hope all is well. I am also a graduate of McGill and I will be in Cleveland in May. Please let me know if you have time for a coffee. Thanks a lot, Chris. Lesson number 8, crucial post-meeting networking best practice. Your success in business is predicated on the strength of your network. After every meeting you have or after every guest speaker that presents to you at a company, school, or other event, please add that person to your LinkedIn network. Many people do background checks on you before meeting or deciding to meet with you. The background check is often done partially using LinkedIn. If you have people in common that you have both met, then your professional credibility rises materially. I don't recommend adding people to your LinkedIn network that you have not met before, as you don't want to dilute this golden networking social media platform. A networking best practice is that under the person's profile picture in LinkedIn, you can put in a private note that only you can see that identifies how you met and relevant information about the conversation you had with this person. Thanks for watching. If you are into business and entrepreneurship, wealth, success, subscribe, and hit the bell button, because this channel is all about that.